Hey guys, and welcome to our June 2020 episode of Watch Out. I'm your host, Drew Pizzulo, and today we're actually going to take a look at a watch I just got in this afternoon. It's a model from Cartier that I haven't had before. I've always wanted to try it, and let's just take a look, and I'll show you the good points and the points I was concerned about before buying it, and to see if they were justified or not. First off, this came from Govberg Jewelers, and it is the Cartier Ballon 3001. So let's take a look. Here is the booklet that normally comes with the watch. Of course, you got your stereotypical Cartier watch box that it would come in. This watch is actually from 2014, so it is pre-owned. It is slightly used. The 3001 usually comes in a couple of different colors. I chose this model, is the chocolate dial, okay, as you can see, with the rose gold and stainless steel combo. Now again, it is 18 karat rose gold that is on the first 3 links of the watch. If you look at the back of the watch, it is all stainless steel. Okay, so don't get confused. Initially, I was confused. I thought the whole watch, all the links, were 18 karat stainless steel. So that's the first thing you're going to notice, is just the first 3 links on each side has the 18 karat solid gold, rose gold. That's the links for that. That's the combo links. But on the back, it is only stainless steel. So it stops after the first 3 links on each side. So I just wanted to make a certain point of that. This watch, of course, it's an automatic piece. It is 42 millimeters, which is standard for the industry these days. Especially, Cartier has had this model out for at least 15 years, if not longer. And the first thing you'll notice about it is it's very thin. Okay, of course you got the sapphire crystal over here with the date, which to me is very important. One of the first things I was concerned about before I got this piece was how hard was it to, because you have the crown guard right here, and there's not a lot of space, if you take a look here, not a lot of space between the crown and the crown guard. So I wanted to know how hard it was to pull out and set the date and then set your time. Well, it turns out it's not hard at all. Of course, you push it out once to change the date, and it rolls right to the date that you need. Push it out twice, and you have no problems with your thumb or your index finger just to roll it right to the time you need. It doesn't press up against the crown guard. I know I've run across some fakes in the past, and it's very, very tough to set the time. This is actually very smooth, very easy. I would expect nothing less from Cartier. So that was the first thing I was concerned about before I bought this watch. The second thing was, how did the 42 millimeter play on my wrist? I'm always worried about when I buy an expensive watch, and we'll get into the pricing in a minute. When I buy an expensive watch, number one, how's it going to look on my wrist? Is it going to look too big? Or is it not going to fit correct? Because the problem you have with these type of links, and what Cartier did here was smart. Okay, they give you 2 different types of links. They give you the big link, which is the long link right here, and they give you the half link. So these are called full and half links. So you have several full links. You have a full link here. You have an extra full link that I already took out right here. And you have the half links. But what's interesting is 2 half links don't equal a full link. Okay? The half links are bigger than the full link. So when I took this out originally, I took out basically 2 full links, and it was too snug on my wrist. But when I actually put one of them back, and I took and put in 2 more half links, it actually fit my wrist perfectly. So my point being that the full links are, 2 half links don't equal the full link. They are actually bigger. A couple of centimeters bigger, which gives your wrist some more wiggle room if it is too tight. Just play around with the band a little bit. These are universal. They can go on either side, so you don't really have a problem with that. So sizing, it does make a difference, because if it didn't fit my wrist right, I'm not going to spend the money I just spent on this and keep it, obviously, because you want it to be comfortable on your wrist. So your question would be, how does it look on the wrist? Well, I have around a 7.15 inch wrist. So this is how it looks on a 7.15 inch wrist. It fits very well. I like it a little big because I need that extra room, so it will slide down a little bit on my wrist. But if you take a look at it, it does fit very nicely on the wrist. The other thing I really liked about this piece was the chocolate brown dial. This is something that, again, what Cartier is known for, like Rolex, and the chocolate brown dial does have irradiation to it. So it radiates in the sunlight, which is great because it really shows that chocolate brown color that I really can't get right now because the sun's not out like it should be. But it does radiate through the center, and it does have the rose gold Roman numerals to fit the rose gold bracelet, for the two-tone bracelet. So it does make sense on why they made it look like this. It really pops. The thing I am not seeing is there is no luminescence on this piece. So you can see there's none on the hour marker, the minute marker, or the hour hands at all. So I'm not seeing any luminescence on this piece. Don't expect it. It's more of a dress piece. The other negative you're going to have with these type of pieces, and I've had this beef with Cartier outside of two models that they have, which is outside of the Pasha and one other piece that's 10 ATMs. These watches are only 3 ATM. So that's the classic problem you're going to have with these type of watches. Most of Cartier's watches only have 3 ATM water resistance. Now again, I have argued this in the past. 3 ATM for Swiss water resistance is better than 3 ATM for Japanese or an Asian movement because the quality is different. They do test them to different standards, and they do last a lot better underwater. But again, you really can't take it like you would for 5 ATM or 10 ATM. That's a beef I've always had with Cartier. But for a piece like this that can go as an everyday piece or a dress piece, this is not something you want to bring underwater. Yeah, it can take any type of splashing or stuff like that from the rain. I wouldn't chance it in the shower just because of the price tag. Speaking of the price tag, this is where Cartier, in this piece especially, the Ballon, one of their most expensive models. See, now you can see that chocolate dial a little bit now that the sun's out, a little bit better. Nice brown chocolate dial with the rose gold hands and the Roman numerals. So that's a nice, thank you, sun, for popping out for a couple seconds there. Speaking of the price range, this new is around $11,000. So don't expect to be getting this cheap if you're going to buy it new. Pre-owned, they go anywhere between, I got this one personally, like I said, through Govberg Jewelers on eBay, at around $52.50 is where I paid. But the problem is you pay tax on top of that from eBay. So keep that in mind when you're buying this type of watch. To add another $350 if you want to buy it used. I was lucky to find one around $52.50. They usually go anywhere between $5,700 to $6,300 on all of these shops right now, and that's looking everywhere from Joma Shop to Watchbox to all the other types of Chrono 24. You're going to have around that same price range. So it's cut in half used. I would recommend buying it used. A lot of the sellers and the dealers who own these pre-owned watches take very good care of them. It's almost like dealing with Rolex. They have watchmakers. This came with a 3-year warranty, so it's working to COSC certified standards right now. I have tested it so far for a good 4 to 6 hours so far. It's dead on, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Because they do have their own watchmakers that do take the time to make sure that these watches are running perfectly. I would recommend buying it from a watch place. Hold on one second. Recess! Knock it off. So, basically, yes, I would recommend buying it from, even if it's through eBay, like a Govberg or a Joma Shop, somebody like that who can give you a warranty with it, because God forbid that something happens with transportation, you want to be covered. I just recently had a problem with that, speaking of, especially with coronavirus and everything right now. I had a problem with U.S. Customs. If I got a watch from Switzerland, it was actually the Quorum Admiral's Cup, and the piece that I got caught up in customs for a month and a half. They're allowed to have it for 45 days before, by law, they have to let it go. And during that time, the watch was played with, it was opened, it was messed with. I don't know what the heck they were looking for, but they ruined it. By the time it got to me, it was an open, damaged box, and unfortunately for the seller and both me, the buyer, the watch wasn't in any condition where I can keep it, and I had to return it for a refund. And this was coming from a dealer in Switzerland. They sent it Swiss Post, so be careful how it's sent out, especially in COVID-19 capacity and the rules these days with the restrictions that they have. That's something that you definitely have to look out for. So that being said, the other thing I do like about this watch is it does have these screw down links. Now, we talked about the size of the links, we didn't talk about that they are screw down links, and I love this because all you need is a screwdriver. You don't need a watch person, you don't need a watchmaker, you don't need a specialized, you don't need a jewelry store. All you need is a screwdriver to unscrew the links, and like I said, between the half links and the whole links, set it to your wrist size, and hopefully it fits the way you liked. If it doesn't, I recommend returning anything that doesn't fit your wrist and is not comfortable on you. You're not spending all this money for something that's uncomfortable. You want to be able to wear it, you want to be able to enjoy it, and it's a type of piece that's supposed to be shown. It's supposed to be shown off. Cartier is one of the most reputable brands in the world. So they do sit up there with Rolex and Patek Philippe and a lot of the other well-known brands in the Swiss market. But they are one of the best-selling watches, and because their movements are very good. The back of the watch, there is no exhibition case back. What you do have is 8 screws on the back of the 42 millimeter dial face. Okay, so you got the 8 screws, you screw them off. If you wanted to adjust the movement, you could. Just screw them off, pop off the back, and you could adjust for regulation purposes if you wanted to go that route. If you have a warranty and it's not working well, again, send it back through the warranty. I recommend not touching it if you have the warranty. If you don't have the warranty, then do it yourself if you can. So it does usually come with the book, the case. It all depends if you buy it new or used, obviously, what you're going to get from the dealer or the seller, secondary seller, who's going to sell it to you. So guys, I'm looking forward to wearing this, and I can give you an update on a later episode on how this fit into my collection. I am thrilled that it's in, I'm thrilled that it's working well, and I'm thrilled that I finally get to wear it and add it to my collection. And hopefully this watch review has been helpful for you, so you can, if you do buy this piece in the future, you have a good idea of what you're getting. Again, thanks guys for joining me. Please like, subscribe, give me suggestions on future content that you'd like me to review. We'll continue our series with Land of the Lost on the brands that have disappeared over the years and decades past, as we will be doing some more watch reviews coming up in the future as well. I'll be back with Jared on It's About Time, I'm sure shortly in the next couple of weeks as well, so please check out that channel if you haven't done so. Thanks guys again, and I'll see you on the next episode of Watch Out.